August 14th, 2003, Thursday afternoon, 4:10 p.m. You're at work in Manhattan, staring at your computer screen. Outside, it's hot, 90 degrees. The air conditioning is working overtime. Your screen flickers. Once, twice, then goes black. The lights die. The hum of the AC stops. And in the sudden silence, you hear something you've never heard before in New York City. Nothing. No traffic lights. No subway rumble. No electricity humming through the walls. You look out your window. Traffic lights are dark. People are pouring into the streets. And in the back of your mind, one word echoes. Terrorism. It's only been 2 years since 9/11, but this wasn't terrorism. This was worse. This was 50 million people across 8 states and parts of Canada, losing power in 3 minutes flat. The largest blackout in North American history, triggered by a tree branch in Ohio. This is the story of the day America went dark. 4:10 p.m. Eastern Time. In Ohio, a high-voltage power line brushes against overgrown trees. It sags from the heat, makes contact, and automatically shuts down. A safety feature, nothing unusual. Except the alarm system at First Energy Corporation's control room doesn't work. The technicians sit there, unaware. That one failed line forces electricity to reroute through other lines. Those lines overload. They fail. More rerouting. More failures. It's called a cascading failure, like dominoes falling. But these dominoes carry electricity to 50 million people. 4:10:40 p.m., 30 seconds later. 4 major transmission lines in Pennsylvania and New York fail. 4:10:41 p.m. A nuclear plant in Ohio shuts down. Cleveland goes dark. 4:10:42 p.m. Michigan loses power. The grid connecting to Ontario fails. In less than 3 minutes, 21 power plants shut down. 8 U.S. states go dark. New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, Connecticut, Vermont, Massachusetts, plus Ontario, Canada. Your computer screen in Manhattan? That was the moment 50 million lives changed. 400,000 people trapped underground. Think about that number. You're on the 6 train, heading home early because of the heat. The car is packed, bodies pressed together, the AC barely working, and suddenly the lights go out. The train jerks to a stop. Complete darkness. Not dim, not gray, black. The kind of darkness that makes you reach out to touch the person next to you, just to remember you're not alone. Someone screams. A baby starts crying. Your phone, if you even have one in 2003, has no signal underground. No one knows what's happening. Is it a fire? A bomb? Another attack? You wait. 5 minutes, 10, 20. Your legs cramp from standing. The air gets thicker, hotter. People start panicking, hyperventilating in the dark. Finally, a flashlight appears. An MTA worker. Everyone stay calm. We're evacuating. You'll need to walk along the tracks. Along the tracks. In the dark. In tunnels 2 stories underground. With the 3rd rail, the one that normally carries 600 volts, right there beside you. 400 trains. 400,000 passengers. All of them had to be evacuated by walking through pitch-black subway tunnels. It took 3 hours. 3 hours of shuffling through darkness, hands on the shoulders of the stranger in front of you, hoping you don't trip, hoping the power doesn't suddenly come back on while you're walking next to the electrified rail. One woman later said, "I thought we'd die down there. I really did. But everyone got out. Not a single person died in those tunnels. It was a miracle. You finally make it above ground, and nothing makes sense. Times Square, the brightest place on Earth, is dark. Not a single billboard lit, not a single neon sign. The crossroads of the world looks like a ghost town. Traffic lights are dead, all 11,600 of them across New York City. Intersections turn into chaos, cars honking, pedestrians flooding into streets. And then something amazing happens. Regular people start directing traffic. A guy in a suit takes off his jacket, stands in the middle of 5th Avenue, and starts waving cars through. A woman with a baby stroller joins him at the next intersection. Then another person, then another. Strangers helping strangers. No one asked them to. They just did it. You need to get home. But how? The subway's dead. Taxis are stuck in gridlock. Buses are packed beyond capacity. people literally hanging off the back, grabbing whatever they can hold. So you walk, along with a million other people. The sidewalks become rivers of humanity, everyone heading in the same direction, toward bridges, toward home. The Brooklyn Bridge becomes a pilgrimage route, thousands of people walking across, silent, determined. Someone hands you a bottle of water. You don't know who, you just take it, drink, and keep walking. It takes 4 hours to get out of Manhattan, normally a 20-minute commute. Your feet blister, your shirt soaks through with sweat, but you keep going because what else can you do? 800 elevator rescues in one night, the FDNY's busiest shift ever. You're on the 43rd floor of an office building when the power cuts. You step into the elevator, the doors close, and then everything stops. Pitch black. You're suspended in a metal box somewhere between floors. The emergency phone is dead. No power means no phone. Ah! You scream, bang on the doors, nothing. The air gets stale, hot. You're sweating, panicking, trying not to think about how much air is left in this tiny space. Minutes feel like hours. Finally, you hear voices, firefighters. They're prying open the doors above you, a shaft of light, hands reaching down. Grab on, we've got you. They pulled 800 people out of stuck elevators that night. 800 separate rescues. Some people were trapped for 6 hours. One elderly man had a heart attack. They got him out, performed CPR on the office floor, saved his life. Meanwhile, hospitals switched to generators. Mostly, some didn't. Surgeons operated by flashlight. Nurses hand-pumped ventilators when the machines died. One doctor later said, "We became battlefield medics. Modern medicine, gone. Just us and our hands." Night falls, and New York City becomes unrecognizable. The skyline disappears. The city that never sleeps goes to bed. And for the first time in decades, you can see stars, actual stars, over Manhattan. People gather on rooftops, staring up at constellations they never knew existed above the light pollution. Someone pulls out a guitar. Strangers sing together. It's surreal, apocalyptic, beautiful. But it's also dangerous. With no streetlights, the city is cave dark. You navigate by the headlights of passing cars, by flashlights if you're lucky. Most people didn't bring flashlights to work. Why would they? Stores can't refrigerate. Food is spoiling. Some restaurants fire up grills on the sidewalk and give food away. It's gonna spoil anyway. Might as well share it. You eat sushi that would have cost $400 for $20. Free ice cream everywhere because it's melting. One guy tells a story. "I walked past a deli, saw the owner just handing out beer. I asked how much. He said, 'Free. What am I gonna do? Let it get warm.'" New Yorkers partied on the streets that night, not because they wanted to, because what else were they going to do? Your apartment is a sauna, no AC, windows open but no breeze. You sleep on the fire escape if you're lucky enough to have one. Inside, it's 95 degrees. Cell phone service is spotty, overloaded. You finally get through to your mom at midnight. "I'm okay, I'm safe." She's been watching the news for 8 hours, terrified. Some people didn't know for days how widespread it was. If you were outside the blackout zone, watching TV, you saw the scope. 50 million people, 8 states, parts of Canada. The entire Northeast grid failed. But if you were in it, you had no idea. No TV, no internet. Not that many people had home internet in 2003. No way to know if it was just your building, your block, or half the continent. One woman tells her story. "I thought it was our building, maybe our block. I walked outside and it was dark. I walked 5 blocks, still dark. I walked to the Brooklyn Bridge. That's when I realized, oh my God, it's everything." The fear was real. 2 years after 9/11, every New Yorker's first thought was terrorism. Is this another attack? Are we at war? Mayor Bloomberg got on the radio, battery-powered, the only way to broadcast. "This is not terrorism. This is a power grid failure. Stay calm. Help your neighbors." But some areas took 4 days to get power back. 4 days. No refrigeration. Food rotting. Medication spoiling. Insulin going bad. Diabetics rationing their supplies, praying power would return before they ran out. In Detroit, 140 miners were trapped underground when the power died. In the dark, deep underground. They waited, safe but terrified, until generators could bring them up. In Toronto, the 911 system stayed operational, but water pumps failed. The city had 24 hours of water supply. Then, nothing. They asked residents to stop flushing toilets, to conserve every drop. Friday morning. Some areas wake up to power, others stay dark. The subway tries to restart. Limited service, diesel trains only. You crowd onto platforms with thousands of others, waiting for trains that may or may not come. Grand Central Station looks like a refugee camp. People slept there overnight, on benches, on floors, waiting, hoping, some for 48 hours. Airports are chaos. JFK, LaGuardia, Newark, all shut down Thursday night. Passengers stranded, sleeping in baggage claim. No flights. No hotels available because hotels have no power either. One man tells his story. I was supposed to fly to Chicago for my daughter's wedding. I missed it. Spent 2 days sleeping on airport chairs. I'll never forget the look on her face in the wedding photos. My empty seat at the table. By Saturday morning, most of New York has power. But the damage is done. Nearly 100 deaths attributed to the blackout. Heart attacks, car accidents at dark intersections, carbon monoxide poisoning from generators run indoors. The economic cost? $4 to $10 billion. Spoiled food, lost productivity, businesses shut down for days, restaurants throwing out entire inventories. But something else happened too, something the news didn't capture in dollar signs. New Yorkers will tell you, the blackout brought people together. Neighbors who'd never spoken knocked on doors. You okay? Need water? Strangers shared food, flashlights, candles, stories. One woman tells it like this. I lived in my building for 3 years, never met anyone. The night of the blackout, we all sat in the hallway with candles, talked until 2 a.m. I'm still friends with those people today. A bodega owner handed out ice cream to kids on the block. Free. They're scared, he said. Ice cream helps. The blackout showed us how fragile our world is, how dependent we are on electricity, on technology, on systems we don't understand and can't control. But it also showed us something else. When everything stops working, people don't break. They help. They share. They direct traffic and hand out water and sit with strangers in the dark, telling stories until the lights come back on. The power grid has been upgraded since 2003. Better monitoring, better safety systems. It's less likely to happen again, but not impossible. A study found that a blackout like this happens about once every 25 years, which means it's coming again. Maybe not this year, maybe not next, but eventually the lights will go out. And when they do, remember August 14th, 2003. Remember that we survived, together. If you remember the blackout of 2003, share your story in the comments. Were you trapped on the subway? Did you walk home over the bridge? Do you remember the stars over Manhattan? Share this with someone who was there. Subscribe to keep these memories alive, because those who forget history are doomed to repeat it. And when the lights go out again, and they will, we need to remember what matters, not the technology that failed, but the humanity that didn't.